Ladies and gentlemen, dear delegates, very warm welcome to the Malta networking event here in Berlin in the Palais am Festungsgraben. Mr. Shurup is going to talk, the head of the delegation, His Excellence, the Ambassador of Malta in Berlin.
Germany have a very good political relationship. That's reflected, I think, in a very good commercial relationship over several decades. So if we talk about investment, Germany is the number one source of investment in Malta. And has been for many years. What impressed me when I came to Germany and did some homework is that I found out that since 2005, between 2005 and 2008, the amount of investment, the gross fixed investment, according to the Bundesbank of Germany, not according to our figures, in Malta has gone up by a factor of 10 from about 2.5 to 3 billion to something approaching 28 billion euros. Now, let's put it in context. According to the Bundesbank, Malta has become the 10th most important destination for German investment. And that is impressive for a small country like Malta. This event is one of a number of events that have been happening in Berlin and in other parts of Germany this week. Organized by Malta Enterprise, which is the entity responsible for investment and business in general in Malta, and also FinanceMalta, which is the arm that promotes financial services. Within this was all under the umbrella of a visit of my minister, who is the Deputy Prime Minister and the Minister of Foreign Affairs. There's an excellent relationship between Malta and Germany. Not only is the relationship extremely good from a political point of view, but this is reflected commercially and financially in terms of investment and trade.
Malta has, over the years, built itself as a reputable destination for financial services, a destination where it's not just reputable from a legal framework and from a regulatory framework, but also an excellent business destination because of the availability of skilled people. So most of the international financial services companies who are in Malta, whether it's funds, whether it's trusts, whether it's insurance, captive insurance markets, they are very happy, and they actually are managed by the skill level of the Maltese.
Over the past 5 years since Malta joined the EU, from an industry that, was a minor part of our GDP, the financial services industry now represents about 20% of our GDP. We have over 400 investment funds which have been set up there, and recently one of the significant factors is that Deutsche Bank has actually set up shop in Malta and obtained a license and is there for the business because obviously it has followed its clients.
One of the things that recently has become the reason for the particular surge in financial services companies is, apart from tax issues, also the relationship that many financial services companies find they can have with the regulator, with the authorities. For an operator in Germany, being contacted or contacting the regulator appears to be something one would do exceptionally and with a certain amount of trepidation. In Malta, I think the opposite is the case. We encourage, and indeed the regulator encourages operators to dialogue with it, so that if you are uncertain of something, if you want to seek clarity, if you want to know whether what you're proposing is manageable or not, the regulator encourages you, even on an informal basis, to approach them and to discuss with them what you have in mind.
I think, from what I understand from people in financial services, when I ask them what the most important thing they find about Malta is, they always say, well, generally say, the regulator is a very, very important factor. So they find the regulator accessible, they find the regulator flexible, they find the regulator wants to do business, but the regulator is also very serious and very reputable. Now, we're small, and we're managing to do this very well, and I think it's a challenge to continue to do this when the sector is growing so fast?
The regulatory part is the most important thing. I think that for the financial services industry to thrive, it is important to give it the right infrastructure. The right infrastructure for these businesses are the regulation and the legislation and the adoption and clear ideas how they are managed by the regulator of the EU directives in this field. And that's what we keep in front of our eyes, that is how to provide an excellence in this sector by adopting the right regulation, the right flexibility, quickness of response. This is one thing that I think Malta as well may offer an advantage over Luxembourg and Dublin, in the sense that we are not a saturated market.
If a company is eligible, and it's not always eligible, but in situations where it is eligible for tax refunds in Malta work, and they work on time. And it's something which maybe a Central European country looking at a Mediterranean country would say, well, but is it maybe tomorrow, maybe next week? No, it actually works. So, from a tax point of view, in situations where there are tax refunds which may be claimable, those tax refunds are paid, and they are paid on time.
Sometimes Malta has proved itself as well as an ideal location where to develop business, because you have other operations in mind outside Malta. And as we see the developments taking place in North Africa, these offer a lot of opportunities as well for German business.
Malta having a treaty with China gives a lot of planning possibilities, even for German investment into China. So the way that Malta's treaty network is designed is with these sort of things in mind. They're all based on the OECD model, so they're pretty standard treaties. But we do have one or two very good ones. If you look at Malta's business sources, where do we get our business from? Most of them are tax treaty driven. One of the advantages about being a small place is that it's easy to put all the jigsaw pieces into each other and get them to work. And Malta's very good at doing that.
We are hopeful that this surge will continue. We are optimistic and we are positive about it, because we think that Malta has, for reasons that we've been talking about, the right attributes. It is true that Malta works. Malta really does work. I think that there are so many different aspects. The fact that we are in the EU, the fact that our legislation is EU compliant, the fact that if there is uncertainty, as David mentioned, a company can be flighted out of Malta. The fact that there is this closeness with the regulator, this understanding, this eagerness to do business. I think all these things have contributed and appear to be continuing to contribute to this growth and to this interest which we're seeing in Malta.